How's it going, everybody? My name is Tarek Subasic. Welcome to today's webinar. Today we'll be covering enabling enterprise communications with Zoom Phone. Before we jump and dive into that, I want to touch a little bit on our trainings that we have at the end of this month. On the 27th, we have a Mitel admin training for users and user groups. And then on the 29th, we have actionable AI, building a business case and driving ROI. Those will be coming to you guys at the end of the month, so stay tuned. Cover the agenda here a little bit. We'll touch on who is Inflow just for a little bit. Then we'll jump to enabling enterprise communication with Zoom Phone, the actual prezo. We'll do a Q&A and then a giveaway at the end as well. To touch on who is Inflow Communications, Inflow is a leading consulting and services company that enables digital transformation through cloud customer engagement technologies. We have over 70 employees that combine sales, advisors, technical, and customer support. Over 1,000 customers have been served from the mid-market to global enterprise across most of our verticals. Inflow operates with integrity, transparency, urgency, and agility. We provide full end-to-end capabilities in UCaaS, CCaaS, WFM, WFO, analytics, and other customer engagement services. Some of our customers, as you can see here on the screen, they range from a variety of different verticals and some pretty big logos as well. So if you want to take a quick look at that screen, you'll see some of the customers that we service today. And then also some of our technology partners. We have quite a bit of a portfolio as far as our technology partners are concerned. Some of them are on the screen as you see there. So take a quick second to take a look and see some of the technology partners that we work with today. And as you may have heard, the news regarding Zoom and Five9, we are positioned very well with both entities. So as they do come together to provide a world-class service for you guys, just know that we're closely related to both of them, and we'll be working hand in hand to expedite and provide that seamless process to you guys. And for some more of that information, I'm sure Derek Ressler, who is going to be joining us from the Zoom end today, will be able to touch on that a little bit more. Derek, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you to get a jump start on the Zoom portion of the prezo. So without further ado, Derek Ressler from Zoom.
All right, thank you. And looks like I'll need to have the ability to share. So if you can give me that ability to share, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, on the Zoom side, I want to say thank you everyone for joining in. Very excited to be here with you and with the Inflow team. Get my prezo going here. Very excited to be here. There's a lot going on with the future of communications, as all of you expect. That's why you're here. From a Zoom side, we will touch a little bit on the Five9 piece, but obviously we're so much more than just that. One of the things that I want to communicate on this a little bit of time I have with you is simply to bring you up to speed on where a lot of other companies and organizations are at that are in the same place as you, and what are some of those conversation talking points that they're having, and what are some of those conversation points they're having with us as they seek to explore what is that next step. Everyone knows that the workforce is everywhere, and this is really where Zoom is continuing to innovate. Is we're expecting people not to go back to where the things that they were. That people are going to still be everywhere. They're going to be working remotely. They're going to be working in the office, and they're going to have this hybrid mentality, and our innovation is continuing to track with that. What we've heard from local organizations and companies just like yours are these 5 things. And in the chat box, I'd love for you to kind of put in what's your #1 communication concern that you have internally at your organization when it comes to one of these 5 things. I'd love to get that feedback. Obviously, workforce shifts, everyone knows that. We've been in a massive shift for the last 12 years, or the last 12 months. But the big thing is the end user experience. What we've heard from people and from, again, businesses and organizations like yours is we need to make sure that our technology is helping to drive our business and drive success for us. And the last 12 to 18 months has been very difficult for us. We're looking at more of a video communication as mission critical, but we really are struggling to see how this all works together. And of course, how can we consolidate down into fewer communication services simply because we need things to work better together. Again, going back to the end user experience. And of course, we're really going to leverage our inflows, right? for this trusted advisor piece. We need that. We need them to come in to help us explore out to make sure that all of these 4 trends that we're dealing with and having conversations points on are those that we're getting the right solution to kind of address those. So would love to see, again, in the chat, if any of these things connect with any of you. I'd love to hear any sort of feedback from the participants on which ones are probably the most important to you. So I'll give it a quick 10 seconds, 15 seconds to see if we got anyone who's willing to engage and interact with us on this webinar. All right, you might be waiting for the coffee to kick in a little bit. We'll move on a little bit here. So what we're hearing in terms of what just needs to work, all right? When it comes to the technology decisions, there's a few big things that we have learned from each of you on what your communication platform needs to have. Number one, that has to be simple. Simple to the point where as we distribute the technology to people who are outside, again, working remote and everything else, they can quickly utilize the technology without having massive internal trainings and all these type things. It has to be simple, intuitive, right? The other thing that we've seen is it has to scale. It can't simply just be for a few offices here or there. It's got to be for everyone. And if we're in a massive growth situation, it's got to work for all the new hires. Again, coming in from wherever they're coming in from, right? And so it's got to be able to scale and be successful for us. It's got to have the tools of today, but not just that. It has to have the tools that we're going to need tomorrow to be successful, whatever that is. And they have to have a great track record of pushing the envelope of innovation as well. And of course, it's got to extend. That's pretty simple, self-explanatory in terms of going outside the walls into our homes, yet still be secure. This is the hugest challenge in communication, is how do we provide a secure solution that is simple, scalable, innovative, and extendable. This is very difficult to do. And so that's what we're hearing from each of you. And the interesting thing is, most of you are probably sitting there going, I don't know what direction to go in. We've got a ton of options. There's a ton of technology companies out there. Again, this is where Inflow comes in to help you pick this direction and to look at the right solutions so you're not wasting time on solutions that aren't really going to fit any of what we've already just discussed and talked about. Thank you, Paul, for saying user experience. You get the kudos of the day. Buy yourself an extra cup of coffee for being the one to kind of give us some feedback. User experience, user experience, user experience. We've heard that a lot here at Zoom. Largely because, Paul, this is the typical user experience. A lot of different things are cool. Oh my gosh, but I have too many applications that run each of these. And guess what? They don't connect to each other. They all have different user interfaces. They can't centrally manage those. And don't even ask the question of, are these things secure? Because they all run their different security protocols. They're all on different versions. And there's no way we can secure any of this type of communication in a way that makes sense, at least in a way for an end user to make sense of it all. And so this poor user experience, poor user management from an IT perspective, moving over to a Zoom type UCaaS solution. I know for UCaaS, this has always been the calling card of UCaaS. Simplifying your tech stack, standardizing on the application, and making sure all users know how to use each and every piece, right? The nice thing here with Zoom, and this is where we've been very successful, is that by and large, the majority of your users and your organizations already know how to use Zoom. So you go back, Paul, to your user experience, and I guess I can guarantee there's other people, same boat. They already know it. Even if your organization doesn't use it, they've used it at home with their kids for school. I know I did. Before I came over to Zoom, my kids were on Zoom the end of last school year, like a lot of people were, right? So users are already aware of Zoom. They already know how to use Zoom. They already know how to leverage a lot of the tools of Zoom. And so it's really becoming a very easy story as we go to move from more of this complex legacy infrastructure world where some's in the cloud, some's on premise, some's hybrid, and how they all kind of work together or don't work together, to more of this simplified solution because the end users already know it. Because this is where, back to the innovation idea, this is where Zoom is winning in this space. This is why people just like yourselves are looking at Zoom as a very strong option, is this. We are laser focused on the hybrid micro workspace. Workspaces have changed and they'll continue to be this way. You need to make sure that your communication stack has the ability to provide the services that you need in each of these micro locations, from someone working with a crib next to them. I've been on Zoom calls with babies in the room. All of you have, right? To the boardroom, and to be able to have it simplified enough, Paul, to your point, for that user experience. And this is where Zoom's innovation is going. We've been heavily involved in making sure every micro space from the home and from the office has the ability to connect in a centralized platform using the same tools no matter where you're at, and with the same security that you need in your organization. And so the video chat, rooms, phone, whiteboarding, email, it doesn't matter what it is, Zoom is going to be able to provide an integrative solution for you and your team, no matter where they're at. And honestly, people move from room to space to space to space to space throughout their business day anyways. And you have to have a technology that can keep up with all of that. From a user kind of perspective when it comes to features in the application, some of the things we hear from you guys is, hey, look, we want to make sure that you guys have the right feature sets for us to be successful, especially because we are moving to the cloud, or we have already moved to the cloud, or we're looking at doing so with our contact center as a service solution, much like Inflow team had kind of brought up with like the fact that they can provide guidance and all these things. So what Zoom is doing is making sure that we have deep integrations into your CCaaS provider of choice, the one that you feel like works best for you. Yes, there was the announcement on Sunday regarding the intent to acquire Five9. That does not at all mean we're not going to still have deep integrations with everyone else. So if Five9 is one of your ones that you would love to see, great. If not, we still got a great integration story with all of these CCaaS providers. And we're going to provide a lot of featuring within our own technical stack that might make it seem, you know what, we might not need to go forward with a full-on CCaaS. Maybe Zoom can provide that for us with their, their call monitoring and their automatic call recording, inbound, outbound, their queuing and all that type of stuff that's inherent with every user of our application. So we've got a lot of options for you when it comes to the feature set. From a quality, this is something that I know each of you are very, very, very concerned about. The quality of your experience with your users, no matter where they're at, going back to that idea of all these micro spaces. Everyone in this industry does well in a perfect network environment. None of us live in a perfect network environment. We're at the kitchen table. Now we're moving to a kid's bedroom because they just got home playing Fortnite and it's the only place that has a door. Now we're in the office. Now we're at our cubicle. Now we're in the boardroom, right? So you're constantly in all these various networks, some wired, some unwired. And now you have to have a quality experience no matter where you're at. This is where Zoom is going to really shine forth. This is a Wayne House third party validator who did stress testing. This is just on the VoIP quality of a phone call, Zoom phone, compared to everyone else in the space. As you can see, as networks get impacted, Zoom will continue to provide a superior experience for you and for your users, in contrast to everyone else in the industry, because it's built on the same architecture that Zoom Meetings is. So we didn't go out and acquire a new phone system to put it in. This is our own self-created on our own architecture that went from 3 million daily users in April 2020 to 300 million, back to that scalable and extendable piece, right? You daily users without being down, providing a robust experience for users throughout the world. This is what Zoom can do for your organization. Zoom Phone has been a significant piece of our growth. Over 450 features. I showed you that one feature with the CCaaS, but I really want to point your eyes more towards the one on the top right here. We're in 47 countries of local PSTN dialing. That means no matter where your users are and where your user offices are, there's a good chance we're going to be able to provide local PSTN dialing. And if we can't provide local, we can do a peering relationship with those existing carriers. The biggest one's always India, that we could provide so that those users are all using Zoom to make outbound dialing. So it's a big thing here to make sure every user is using the platform in the exact same way, leveraging the exact same tools. So it means people can be in a call queue in India, in the United States, and it doesn't matter where they're at in the world. They can still be a part of all this type stuff. We're leader in the Magic Quadrant. So that's great third-party validation. In our first year, we kind of bypassed everyone in the industry who's been trying to get in the leaders quadrant for 15, 20 years. We did it in 5 quarters. So we're very excited, and of course, in the bottom right, just so that you are aware of what is this adoption of Zoom Phone. What people are basically doing is they're having their current Zoom architecture, the Zoom meetings they've already deployed and everything else. All they're simply doing is adding Zoom Phone. What they do is they contact their trusted advisor, and there's your guys' Inflow. Go Inflow. I'd love to learn more about Zoom. Let's dive into the Zoom Phone. Let's see how that works with our users since they've already deployed. We've already deployed Zoom. Users already know how to use it. And it's as easy as logging out and logging back in. And now they've distributed phone to everyone in the organization, no matter where they're at, without having to track down shipments of hardware or anything else. It's that easy to deliver the solution. So we're adding roughly 100,000 users a month on Zoom Phone today. People just like yourselves taking a look, grabbing time with their trusted advisor, taking a look at Zoom Phone and going, hey, look, is this the option for us going forward? And so it's been a very successful experience. So I encourage you all to obviously reach out to the Inflow team to have those conversations. This goes a little bit more to the connectivity options. I can't stress enough how important the ability for users to simply log out and log back in. And now they have the technology. They don't have to download anything new. They don't have to delete any software and add more software and things like that. In that situation, all of you out there know how difficult that could be, especially if you're looking at a secure communications platform and you have things tucked under VPNs and all that type of stuff. It can be very challenging. If you've already deployed Zoom meetings, you've already deployed Zoom Phone. It's just a matter of that log out, log in. If you haven't done any of that, it's just fine. We could work with you on the right track for you. We have our bring your own care. That's that premise for locations that may be in long-term contracts or locations that you have that aren't in any of our 47 local dialing countries that you'd like to have that support in. We have options for you to get them onto the platform today versus 2, 3, 5 years in the future. Makes things much more simple to manage from a central location. Some of the biggest reasons that people choose us, number one, I know for all of you out there, this is a big deal. Centralized management, especially in today's workforce environment. It doesn't matter where they're at, you can manage them. Adds, moves, changes, all that stuff from a central location. Obviously, you can leverage Inflow for support and things like that. Improved end user experience. Again, this has been our calling card, the simplicity. It's more than it just works. It's also, I can understand how to use it without leveraging IT resources and tools and deep trainings and all that stuff to know how to use it. Right. And so, yes, we just work. We're very good, but it's very easy to understand. Improved reliability, service reliability. Again, this goes down at quality and reliability that Zoom's built out over the last 12, 18 months in terms of your trust and that we can provide the services from a TCO perspective. You'll be absolutely amazed on this TCO. I think just this in its own self should be one that be like, hey, look, I really need to talk to Inflow to see what this TCO savings could be, because you're going to see a big savings on your monthly with Zoom. And of course, that rapid service deployment, log out, log in experience if you already have Zoom deployed. And I'd actually love to see that. Let me just kind of pause here. We got a minute or two. Hopefully there's more than just the Pauls out there. I'd love to hear, have you guys already deployed Zoom? Just say yes or no. If you've already deployed Zoom in any capacity, Zoom meetings, Zoom rooms, Zoom phone. I would love to hear from each one of you out there if you've already deployed Zoom. I think that'd be a really big help. And so I'll kind of pause for the awkward 10 seconds, 15 seconds of silence, and then see if you guys can respond. Thank you, Brendan. Thanks, Philip. That's 2. Come on, Paul. Since you were the first in, let's see if you can be the last out. Well, we got to. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Brendan, for your feedback. And hopefully the webinars is going well for you guys and how you guys are using it. Example. Oh, there you go, Paul. Yes, Paul for the win at the end. They're using it for video conferencing and webinars. George, thank you, George. Maybe I shamed you into getting going here. So yes, meetings, fantastic. A lot of webinars. That's a great sign, and hopefully it's been going great for you, and it's been improving your business as you seek to message everything that you guys do to your users and to your customers. Just a snapshot, right, of our customers that have it. Everyone's got cool brag slides. We got a cool one too. But what I really want to point your eyes to is the idea that we're in every single industry. I know there's a few people on here from the financial side. There's people here from the state side, local side. There's people from education. We are in every single space with Zoom Phone. This is just Zoom Phone. Zoom Meetings obviously is much more expansive, but this is for Zoom Phone. So if you think in your regulatory compliance, you think through these certifications and all the items that of security that really matter to you in your industry, Zoom has those. We are FedRAMP 4, I always say FedRAMP 4 certified. So we can even sell Zoom Phone to the Department of Defense and other federal government entities and things like that. So from a security standpoint, we're going to have our application security is going to be fantastic. It's going to fit within the requirements that you have. Again, another great reason to reach out to Inflow to learn more about the security and regulatory compliance of Zoom Phone. And of course, how we can extend and help out your organization in terms of this. So we're very excited with our obviously the amount of customers that are trusting us with their communications and with their applications. That's been a big deal for us going forward here.
Well, if there are any other questions that do happen to straggle in, or if anyone has any other questions directly, feel free to email us direct, and I can always get it over to Derek and have those answered for you. The last thing that we'll share with you guys before we wrap this up, and I do want to take the time to thank Derek and the Zoom team for taking the time to present today. To get in touch with us, go ahead and you can call in directly, that number listed there, or use that email to email in. And also to follow us and for more resources and videos, we're available on YouTube, LinkedIn, and currently we do have also, shameless plug here, a podcast that we record weekly, available on Fridays, that you can find on Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio, etc. That's it for myself and the team today. Want to thank everyone for attending and taking the time to join us. As I said, if anything comes up in the meantime, question-wise, just reach out to us directly. And we look forward to seeing and hearing from you guys soon. Hope everyone has a fantastic day and a great rest of your week. Thanks.